This is a Hot Pie Media original.
Hi, I'm Deb. Welcome to my podcast.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything. Why racist white guys keep winning elections? Why stocks and bond yields move in opposite directions? Why Deborah calls eggplants aubergines? What color was that dress from 2015? Deborah, tell me, I don't know anything. You're listening to the Deb O'Keefe Podcast, the podcast where Deb O'Keefe doesn't know anything.
You know, we all want to relax, right? We want to take a break from our everyday lives. We all are struggling in some way, shape, or form, whether it be the pandemic, work, relationships, animals pooping on the floor, whatever it might be. And I tell you what, I've always been super jealous of my friends who are into THC, whether it be smokable, edibles, well, that's it, right? They're the only two. Vapes, there's lots of different ways you can ingest it. And I think I tried them all and I just gave it up. It did not sit well with me until I walked in the door the other week and somebody handed me a bag of early bird CBD, THC, full spectrum gummies. And I thought, okay, right, yeah, this is going to make me feel weird. But it didn't. It just chilled me out. And this is probably going to sound weird if you're an aficionado. Maybe you haven't heard of early bird gummies. They're relatively new in the market, but maybe you just think, well, what's the problem? It just chills you out, right? No, weed for me historically has made me feel nauseous. I know it's supposed to help nausea. It's given me a headache. I haven't been able to sleep, feel weird, definitely paranoid. And I don't like those feelings. And so I don't know what it is, how they do it. And I'm going to find the secrets, guys, unless they're trademarked and they'll sue me. But Early Bird have actually done it. They've created a gummy that is 2.5 milligrams of natural THC and 12.5 milligrams of CBD. They're formulated not just for fun, but to make you feel good too. And as a non-expert and a real novice and somebody who's very nervous about this type of stuff, it's I don't know. It's opened up a whole new world for me. And I want you to check it out. We've got a great deal for you as well. You just need to go to earlybirdcbd.com/Deb and you'll get 20% off your first order. You could order $200 worth of stuff and you get 20% off. It's a great deal. I don't know how long they're going to be doing this with me, but I'm super stoked for you to try it. You feel good. You feel chilled. And so far, so good. None of the weird side effects that affected me. And they're delicious. There's 3 different flavors and you can buy them in a little starter pack or you can get the tub of 30. And they look really cool too. The design, the packaging, super safe too. I've got pets in my home. If you have kids, it's work to get in these things, all right? So they're safe around the house too. Again, go to earlybirdcbd.com/Deb. That's earlybirdcbd.com/Deb to claim your 20% off and have a good time, guys. You may know who I am. I've been on the radio waves in Austin for 20 years now, a couple of different forms, and now it's just me. So you get 100% Deb. Oh, and some Blue Boy as well. If you're just listening to this, not watching this, that's my dog, except he's dead, but still lives on in my heart. Another fun thing about being on the radio, being in the public eye is you get some really funny messages. You get some really shitty messages a lot of times. But years ago, I was told by one of my first radio mentors, what up, JB? You know JB Colton. He's like your uncle or something. Told me how to deal with trolls before trolls were even a thing, before trolls really even had a name. This is before social media. I would get shitty emails saying, "You suck, your opinion is awful," whatever it was. And it really used to get to me. It really used to hurt me. And JB taught me this thing that he actually had read somewhere else. I think he read it from an old newspaper guy who would get hate mail, probably literally mail. And he would tell me, and I think this is a bastardization of the original one, but he would say, just email back, please send picture of both boat and trailer. What the shit does that mean? I don't know, but it really does. It just disarmed people and they were like, what? And they forgot what they were angry about. So I've generally tried to employ those types of methods when I get hate mail. But I don't often read my DMs. I'm shitty about that. I need to read my DMs. But in my Instagram, and I didn't realize this for a long, long time. Who was it recently that came out and said they didn't realize they had DMs? Was it LeBron James? And I feel like it was somebody as big as LeBron James, and he had tons of messages from other celebrities, and he came out and said, I suck, I didn't know I had DMs. Anyway, you've got message requests, right, from people that you don't follow, and then you've got messages from people that you do. So sometimes I go into the requests because they're usually the ones that are a bit shady, but I like to have a look. This guy, Jose Gonzalez, I don't know if that's his real name. He's got 0 followers and 0 posts. We don't follow each other on Instagram, but somehow he just reached out to me. And these are all, I'll just read them in order. These messages are great. You may want to beep this out, Colton. You're a low-life little pinche puta, chinga tu madre pendeja, you low I think maybe I'll just open my show every time with just some like classic hate. She goes on. Or he goes on, pinche cobarde. I don't know that word. Fucking coward. Oh, yeah. Cobarde, is that coward? I haven't been called that one before. Pinche puta. Sí. Puta cobarde de mierda. All right. That's shit. You coward. Oh, and then he called me. He audio called me. They called me again. God, Colton, can we call this guy on the podcast? Wouldn't that be great? Then he just says, he's a bit repetitive here. Little for the 3rd time. Then on Monday, little pandeja called me again twice. So I missed your call, Jose. I didn't know you could call on DMs. Pinche bandeja tienes miedo. I gotta look this up. I don't know what that one means. Scared little. What am I scared of? Oh, this gets good. Yesterday, you are another Karen who thinks you can control everybody. Karen. Pinche Karen. Chinga tu madre, pinche Karen. Don't talk about my mom like that. Oh, here we go. This one's really good. Your mama must have left you as a baby because you were ugly as Your face discusses everyone you Karen. Is that disgusts maybe? Your face disgusts everyone, you fucking Karen? She didn't leave me as a baby. And in fact, unlike my younger brother James, I was a planned baby, born at home in my mum's bed, so I wasn't left. All right, the last one says, your mum is so ugly. When she entered the ugly contest, the judges said, sorry, no professionals. Okay. On that note, I think we should probably start the podcast. I'm excited today to talk to somebody who is, I would say, about as passionate as me about animal advocacy, but I think she's got me beat by about 100 times. Her name is Rebecca Corry. You may have heard of her. She's a stand-up comedian, actress, and writer, and she's actually the head of an amazing charity called Stand Up for Pits Foundation. What they do is put on big stand-up festivals, stand-up comedy shows in LA mostly, but they were on tour before stupid COVID. And she would attract tons of great talent to come and perform at the Stand Up for Pit Foundation comedy nights. And the money raised goes to the foundation, which takes care of animal charities, specifically pit bull type dogs. As you can see, that's my blue boy. That's my passion too, is pit bull type dogs. Trying to educate people, end BSL, which is breed discrimination legislation. What does that mean? That's basically when you own a pit bull type dog or other breeds of dogs and you're not allowed to rent a certain apartment. That's just one of the problems with BSL. And then, of course, she funds lots of charities. She does spay and neuter days in honor of her previous dog, Angel. And it's just really exciting to meet somebody so passionate about something that is so valued and so needed in our society. Just that little bit extra understanding and compassion and education about pit bull type dogs. I find myself doing it all the time when I hear somebody say, "Is your dog a pit bull?" Well, yeah, no, pit bull's not a breed. Pit bull is a type of dog. They're Staffordshire Bull Terrier mixes generally. And oftentimes they have lots of other little things in them as well along the way. But pit bull type dog is a catch-all term. So I'm excited to talk to Rebecca about her foundation and, of course, how life being a stand-up comedian has been affected during COVID. I know shows are starting back up again. There have been shows going on for a while in limited capacity. But I'm looking forward to this, and I hope you enjoy the interview with Rebecca too. I got told the other day, oh God, this is great. I've been excited to share this story with someone. I had a date. It was a second date off one of the stupid apps. And the guy just turned really aggressive on me and started picking on me and calling me bossy and shit. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just leaving. I'm going to call an Uber. And he looks at me and he says, "You hate men." And I wanted to say, I fucking do hate men. I hate you especially, but it's not men. It's everyone. But him in that moment, I did hate, but it is age, isn't it? It makes you get just less tolerable and tolerating of people.
I can't handle it. I mean, humanity is something. They're a big problem.
Yeah.
Big fucking problem.
Yeah. You see it more than ever. I did introduce you as Rebecca Corry, stand-up comedian, but you are, of course, an amazing humanitarian. The amount of energy and love and compassion and time and just everything that you put into the Stand Up for Pits Foundation, it just boggles my mind. You seem to never stop. So fuck humans. Let's take care of the animals.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps you going, is that you're going to save a dog's life every day, probably, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know many people that can say that they've done that once in their life.
Yeah, I mean, I have to unfortunately deal with people with what I do. And I've always said that that's the hardest part about what I do is the people. Mm-hmm. Because sadly, like, human beings just cannot remove their agendas and egos, no matter how hard they try, And I think that, and I've said this several times, I'm not shy about saying it. I think people in animal welfare, they're, I think a lot of them are, I don't know. I think they're kind of misfits in some way. And I include myself in that. And they don't have the best social skills. And I include myself in that. So it makes it really hard to do the work when you have to work alongside people. You know what I mean? You have to work with people, but whenever a life is saved or helped, or, we know that we're preventing millions of dogs by entering the shelter with our spay neuter and all that stuff that we do, then it makes it all worth it. But it does not make it any easier. And it is really, really hard. And there are some days where I just feel like I can't do it another day. I can't do it another day. But
I don't know.
Who would I be if I quit? I would be a piece of shit.
You here, let me just correct you on this. There's no way, let's say there are pearly gates somewhere. There's no way someone's going to say, well, Rebecca, you stopped at 50, so you're a piece of shit. You've done so much. And I'm not telling you to stop, because what you're doing is invaluable. And it makes me feel shitty every day that I'm not out there doing that. I don't think I have the strength.
Come on. You showed up for Brady when no one else did. That poor dog was on that leash, and look at what you've done for her.
I wish you'll meet her one day. We'll figure it out.
I will.
But yeah, 2 and a bit years ago, I saw a dog posted on. I've been following you for years. I don't know how it came. How do you come across anyone on Instagram, right? For me, it's usually dogs, and so there was a dog maybe, and I followed you, or you followed someone I follow. I don't know, but I loved your post about Angel, R.I.P. As you know. That's my angel right behind me, Blue Boy. There's not a day that goes by my life that I don't think about him. But seeing this black pit bull type dog posted on your account, and you said, "Someone, please, what can we do? Who lives out there?" I just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go out there and see what I can do." And I think I definitely felt like your little spirit was sitting on my shoulder that day because it was scary. It was boiling hot in the middle of
it wasn't 20 minutes from where you live either. You didn't you drive like 5 hours or something?
It was about a 6-hour round trip, but it was a 2.5 hours plus there. I mean, I sped all. I got a speeding ticket on the way home. Crying
from saving Brady.
I'll give you the story. I live in Austin, and it was 2.5 hours away, near a town of Brady,
Texas. I'm bringing stand up to Pittsburgh to Austin, by the way.
Fuck yes.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I'll talk to you about it. I just wanted to tell you.
Stay with
go ahead.
You stay in my spare room. It's going to be great.
Okay.
I'll put you. Well, you don't do that at all. That's really creepy, Deb. Don't do that again. She's going to hang up. Saw the post. Was it a guy called Josh? I think had been driving by this dog, seeing Brady chained up. Anytime I see a dog chained up, I'm calling 311. But that's inside Austin city limits. Oh wait, hold on a second. Didn't Greg Abbott just make that legal again? That you can chain up a dog outside? I'll have the fact-checking department check into that, but that piece of shit probably did just make that legal because it
just look up tethering laws. And normally if a dog is allowed to be tied up, there's a time limit.
All right. So he can't just be left out there all the time. Well, no. we figured out that Brady, this big black dog in West Texas, had been out there. The guy thought for a year or so, and he had called the SPCA, the local police. Everyone was like, "We're country. We don't give a fuck. We don't care about animals," basically was the message. So I just came home from work that day, saw that post and said, I'm going. My boyfriend of the time was like, what are you doing? You don't know what you're going to see out there. There could be, crazy people. I was like, I don't care. She needs to come home. She needs to get off the leash. So I stopped off actually at our local Austin Pets Alive shelter and asked them to teach me how to do like the lasso with the long leash thing. So if you can't get close, and they said, gave me one and showed me how to do it on one of their pitties that they have up for adoption. And she was lovely and helpful. So I learned how to do that. I had just adopted my little Frenchie Alfie. So I took him with me too as moral support. And I get out there and we have the video. You know what? We're going to put this in and post, Rebecca. We have the video. We're going to play it right here.
The Stand Up for Pits Foundation received a letter from a man in Brady, Texas, letting us know that he had been feeding a dog that had been abandoned in a field for nearly 6 years. He asked for our help, so we posted his letter and pictures, and a Stand Up for Pits Foundation supporter named Deborah O'Keefe saw the pictures, got in her car, and drove 4 hours to save the dog.
So I just got here to where the dog is. Hi, and she's wagging her tail. Come on, Alfie, come say hi. Hi, baby, I got you some water. She's definitely starving. I'm pissed. I'm about to give her some water.
For abuse survivors like Brady, the road to recovery can be a long, hard, and costly one.
But I'll tell you this. I had just had some filler. And I haven't had it done now for like 2 years.
I remember that.
Do you remember that? Looked like I'd had the shit beaten out of me. I had 2 massive black eyes. And I'm filming. I'm like, I'm coming up to the dog now. And it looks like someone has just literally knocked me out. But it was boiling hot. There was barely any shade. She was tied up exactly where the guy had told me she was, between 2 abandoned houses that had like shoe polish, for sale written on the windows. And she was like, on the end of her chain. And she's, bless her heart, she has little pigeon toes. So she was like, kind of like standing like this and neck down, ears like forward, definite stay away from me pose. And I tried treats, I tried calm, like 15, 20 minutes, nothing happened. And I thought, I'm just going to go get Alfie out of the car. I can see she'd had puppies. She had massive teats. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they'd just been basically, having her raped, forced breeding, selling the puppies, some bullshit. It's too much. My niece is calling. You know what? Why is my phone why is it ringing? Hang on, we're going to answer it. Amy, I'm recording my podcast. Your stupid call came through. I'm going to hang up on you. I love you. Bye. How did that ring? It's off. Well, now I know. Chaos. Live radio. I got Alfie out of the car on his leash and he's just all excited about life, loves everyone. And as soon as she saw him, the ears kind of went down, went back. and she calmed down a little bit enough. And I was still a little bit scared to let him close, but they were both doing the low walk to each other. And I just tethered her quickly, pulled the chain off of the carabiner, and I started crying at that moment. I mean, you must know how that feels. Managed to load her up in the car. I went to Subway, I just said, I need like 6 sandwiches worth of just turkey meat. I didn't know what else to get. I'd realized I'd not come with food. So she wolfed it down and got her some more. And I was, you can imagine, just shaking and crying. I had to stop every 20 minutes because she was just like brown water out the bum, blood out of the bladder. It was like pure red blood, pee.
I remember she was
such in a bad state. And I wanted to get home, and I get pulled over by a state trooper. And that's just it. I'm hysterical at this point, kind of happy, sad, and say, hey, this dog, you just stole this dog and she was abused. And she's like, oh my God, you're so cool. That was so nice you did that. Here's your ticket. I just thought
she gave you one anyway.
Fucking ticket. I was speeding. I thought the same thing, but then a Texas style, beautiful horizon out in the country, and a massive storm rolls in, and it was torrential all the way home. And I think I finally got home at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. But we all slept that night, and then thanks to the Stand Up for Pits Foundation, you reached out and you said, let's get her fixed. And I don't know if I would have been able to afford to do it at that time. She needed a lot of surgery. And you guys, you looked at the vet bills and you said, let's do it in the foundation, that this is what you do. And I was going to adopt her out. I didn't think she was going to be a fit for our family.
I remember that. Yeah.
But she needed to stay for a while and recover.
We covered all of her costs, right?
Yeah, you did. And
of everything. And wasn't there something else? Did she have heartworm?
She didn't have heartworms. She had you know what? I should have brought them, but she had 2 bladder stones about the size of a good size rock in her bladder. And
I remember that. Okay, yeah. I thought she had to be separated, like in your laundry room or something, because she had heartworm or
the cats. I think it was. Maybe she did have heartworm.
I think she did have heartworm and had to go through treatments.
She had to.
3 treatments.
She had to be with me for a while, and that was when I realized that she had formed such a bond with me. I would be doing her a disservice. I think, you never know. You never want to be a foster failure. You always want to think, I'm not the best home. This dog needs to go somewhere better than me. But it was almost like she had made her mind up, and she did not like men for the first year or so, and she nipped.
I remember that.
She nipped almost every match. She never broke the skin, but she's so great now, Rebecca. She's still scared of her leash. She doesn't like to be constrained, and I can imagine why.
Yep.
And she won't swim. Oh my Lord, it's so cute. She'll go into the water on a beach start, and as soon as it hits her chest, just like, no, Mum, this is terrifying. But thanks to you guys, she's alive, and I tell her
and
story
to you,
everywhere.
Deb. I mean. That story is, obviously I have seen and heard and been a part of so many stories, and all of them are special to me in one way or another. The bummer is I hardly ever get an opportunity to meet any of the dogs that I save or help. But I fall in love with them just as much. I definitely fall in love with them and their stories. I was really anal. I'm always really anal with all the dogs that we sponsor to get videos and photos and document everything, because it's the story. Not only is it super costly, and that's how, since we don't have the dogs in our care, we need to show our donors where their funds are going, but also to use it as an educating moment. And I remember, aside from the horrible life and existence that she had, she was on some anthill too, wasn't she?
Oh, it was disgusting. A bucket of stagnant water that probably, didn't help anything else. And there was a kennel, but it was in the bright sunshine. Still to this day, she lays in the sun, I think, because she thinks that's just what she has to do.
I can't believe she lived, to be honest, but
I don't know how.
This story, your story, and documenting it and following it and, being a part of it. It was just so inspiring to me and so many other people that you got off your couch, you got in your car and you did something. And I think that a lot of people it's real easy. I'm not belittling or shitting on anyone who cross posts, just only cross posts or donates or whatever, because that's important too.
It's huge.
And if that's the level that someone can help at, that's all they can do, then that's something, so, and every effort matters. But it's extraordinary to me that you saw this, you were like, okay, this I can actually do. And you did, and you did it. And I know it was emotional for you, and you had lost hadn't you lost a cat during it as well?
Yeah, my cat got killed by a car.
Yes,
George.
and I mean, you're going through a lot, but you stayed dedicated, and you did it. And that will always be. I'll send you the video again that we made. We made a video of Brady's story that I narrate. I'll make sure to send it to you. It will never stop being inspiring. And that's one thing I love about Stand Up for Pitt's followers and supporters. We may not have millions of followers, but the ones that we have are doers. And it's no joke. These people like you do something when they know they can, instead of just sitting there and going, well, I hope someone does something, or I hope an organization, it's like that's the thing. We all have to do what we can do.
We do, and you're right. There's that one time that maybe you have that window of opportunity that it's right for you, and someone out there, something, a dog, a cat, a horse, a person could really do with that spontaneous decision of yours. I say do it. I love spontaneity. I love it.
Yep.
I love try not to. I'm not going to just go jump off a building right now. Mental, of course, but if you said let's go and train how to jump off a building this weekend, I'd say let's just try it. That could save a life. What about
you never know,
there's a pit bull in a tree and I know how to rappel. I did it.
A pit bull in a tree problem that has been
a
real,
it happens.
I guess it does. I've not come across that one yet, but you never know. This guy right here, Blue Boy O'Keefe, would climb trees. I would take him to, really?
Yeah, I used to live on the east side here in town, and there was a park right next to my house, and it had kind of a lowish beam that sort of swept up and over. And he would get up there and perch and just be a tree dog. Very strange.
Oh my gosh. Sally would not be able to even climb a shrub.
Do you have a Sally or a Todd right around you right now? Thank you.
What do you think, Jeff? What do you think?
That's why I was a bit rude. You had, Todd has the best resting bitch face.
Hang on, let me get him on here. Hang on, let me get
Todd. Good. For those of you who don't know Todd, he is so expressionate in his inexpression.
Yeah, he gives less than zero fucks.
Look at that
all
lip.
Times.
Oh, Todd. It's your auntie.
Yep.
I love you, buddy. This is one. Hello, buddy. I love you.
There's one, and here's.
Hello, precious hippo. Hello,
there's
Sally.
another one. See?
And this isn't. Not just the fact that they're flipping gorgeous and perfect to me, but I remember you went through a moment with these guys that you didn't know you were going to keep them both together because you weren't sure that it was going to be a situation that was going to be good for them. And it worked.
No,
right?
And also, like when Angel passed away, there was not a single intention or ounce of me that wanted to get another dog. I was going to continue the work, obviously, and, foster and do what I could, but I was not going to have a dog of my own again.
I'm with you.
Let alone two. And then, my organization, there's a ridiculous ordinance in Los Angeles County that any dog that's seized from a dogfighting operation is deemed vicious and they kill them. And Todd was part of a dogfighting operation, and they brought him and his whole, the whole crew to Los Angeles, which incensed me because it's like, why are you? It was in San Diego. It was like, why would you bring these dogs to LA County if that ordinance exists? They did, and they killed all of them except two of them, Lucille and Todd, and that's because I asked the county, the head of the county shelters, that I wanted all the dogs, but they gave me two. And his mom died. His mom died. I don't understand that. What's that?
I don't understand that because didn't we learn from the Michael Vick dogs that they can be rehabilitated?
No, humans don't learn, and these ordinances are absolute bullshit. It's fear-based ignorance.
Yeah.
It's beyond. I can't. So they did give me two. They gave me Todd and his mom Lucille. She died
passed.
of a blood disease called the Vigia gibsoni, which is really common among dog fighting victim dogs. And but we fought really hard to keep her alive. And then I had Todd, and he was really, really emotionally broken. Like he was scared of everything, and everything was new to him. And because they'd been kept under a house. And so like the wind and leaves and anything that was, and he was scared. He had to eat in the dark, and he wouldn't come out of my bedroom for 3 months.
Wow.
And as funny as he is and as cute as he is and as popular as he became, I just knew that like he wasn't a dog that could just be like, okay, I'm going off to work. I'll see you in 8 hours and be cool with that. He's so unbelievably, he was so broken. And then I saw Sally, she was on death row, and I just, for whatever reason, certain dogs crushed my soul, and she did. And so we got her. I had a volunteer go pull her, and I had somewhere to put her, and we just were going to sponsor all of her care, and found out immediately that she had systemic cancer, mast cell disease, the same disease that Angel had. And
Blue had it too. Fuck cancer.
Yeah.
Fuck dog cancer. They don't deserve it. Fuck all cancer, but dog cancer? That's a cruel trick.
I know. And then she needed both of her knees done and her canine removed and tumors removed. Then she had her breasts were infected from overbreeding and all of that shit. And she ended up having 9 surgeries, and we saved her life. And they gave her 6 months to live, and she's been here for over 4. And I just knew I couldn't adopt her out in that condition. Right. And there was one lady who really liked her, but I said, what would you do with her cancer? How would you deal with it? She goes, I'll do whatever it takes to keep her alive. And I was like, I just couldn't, even though the woman's intentions were good and she seemed to be like a decent home. I was just like, I don't want Sally being a guinea pig and going through chemo for the rest of her years. I just want her to just understand love and respect and live as long as she's going to live. And I could do that for her. And initially she's extremely dog reactive, hates all dogs. And I slowly introduced her and Todd. It took many months, and I just would take them on walks, and I would talk to them and just say like, look, you both are all kinds of messed up. So we got to figure this out.
Let's be messed up together.
I didn't want to adopt Todd out either, because I just didn't think someone would understand like what he needed, but I also didn't want them. I mean, I did. I love them, but
I felt the same way about the 2 I have now. I went from, this guy for 12 years. The last few months were awful, just with his cancer. And that was it. I'm like, no, I've got my cat. It's fine. Then, like you said, just suddenly next minute, you've got 2 more dogs. We're crazy dog people.
I know.
We have to just put that out there.
I knew that, through the care of my foundation, I could give them the care that they need.
Yeah.
And my lifestyle, I'm here with them all the time.
I feel that way about mine too. I don't think it would have been, I wouldn't have worked out had I not been able to be with them so much. Now I've created monsters, I'm sure like yours, that you're like, really? You're fucking leaving the house for 10 minutes? I have one that will go under a chair and just do this. Because he's a Frenchie, the little, it gives me such anxiety.
I know. I don't know what to do with Sally and Todd when I start touring again, because both of them, they can't go to daycare because Todd now has cancer. And so, and so they're not vaccinated. They can't go to a daycare, and I wouldn't put them in a daycare anyway.
Figured it out. Got it. All right. What we need.
What's
okay.
That?
We're going to find one of those shows that does like the makeover things. We're going to get a celebrity show, and we're going to get them to pimp that bus, and we're going to have a stand up for pits bus. It's going to be a touring bus, sweet ass room for you, dog beds for Sally and Todd, maybe a couple of spare rooms in case you pick up some dogs on the road, which don't we always?
Done. That's always a possibility. I'm telling you, Deb, I was talking to someone the other day, and I was saying, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, this is so stressful, and I have to start touring again, you know? And she said the same thing. She was like, you got to get something that you can just take them on the road and just be with them all the time. Like, you can't. And I was like, really? How am I going to do this?
All right. We need to investigate this. I've got some connections in the car building business, in the motor world.
Okay.
Look at me pulling strings. I don't know shit about shit, but I'm gonna ask some questions, because how great would this be? Pimp out a stand-up touring bus for the Stand Up for Pits Foundation. You're a giant advert driving across the country, and you get to keep the guys with you.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll make this happen.
Can we have this? Can we have it made by next April?
Well, all right. I'm not even kidding. I know some people. I'm gonna make some calls, and this would be a fucking great way to highlight the cause, and of course your comedy, which I haven't wanted to ignore, but you're goddamn funny. And when are you bringing the tour to Austin?
Okay, so I don't know, but I do have a lot of friends there. And one of my really dear friends, he works for C3 Presents, this event company.
Oh, I know them.
And he's in Austin. And he said that there's this outdoor venue that Live Nation books or whatever, and he suggested it.
Yes,
to me.
I think he's thinking of Stubbs.
That great. Probably is it. It's like picnic tables and stuff, and that's it.
Yeah.
So there's that. We might try that. That could be a possibility, but. I'm open to any venue idea, but there's no question that I want to bring Stand Up for Pits to Austin. That's my number one addition for next year.
All right. Well,
that I'm going to definitely do. What month is good to go there? That's not boiling hot?
My diary. God, it's boiling hot. Right? I'm wearing a jumpsuit today for some reason, by the way, and it's like 99 degrees outside. But it's let's see. Spring is nice, can be wet, but April will be warm. April, May. October, November, but then suddenly it can just get freezing cold. It's
right.
Don't come in.
How about
July,
May?
August.
What about May?
May is great. Yeah, May's a good time.
Then I'll drive there in a rental. I'll pick up our bus.
Yes. We'll have it made here in town. I'm writing this. Get bus made. Hang on a second. I have a to-do list. I'm just writing get bus.
Okay, but
made.
Also, Deb, you know what it could be too? It could just be one of those, those old, like those Mercedes things. I think they're like $190,000.
Yeah, the big super van thing. No, you could live in that. People do. Yep. They pimp those out all the time. I am seeing, for some reason, I'm just seeing a big, like long bus. Have big old gangbangs in there after the shows and everything.
I don't know about that.
Come on.
Profit, but we could hook it up with cameras in there and always show what the kids are doing and stuff like that.
24-hour dog cam. Oh, hang on, let me put that on there too. Get dog cam. Dog.
Yeah, Deb. So you're going to need to get someone to donate a vehicle and then make it a really amazing living space in there. Yeah. It could be a van too, just a van. They turn those into
living,
they turn those into
living traveling things. We've got a plan. We've got some work on our hands, Rebecca.
Okay, let's do this, Deb.
All right, I'm gonna make some calls today and see what can happen. And if nothing else, you always stay in my spare room. That's a really creepy offer.
I mean, I'll probably I bring the kids, I'll probably stay in a hotel except it could be too much. But thanks for the offer, Deb.
My pleasure. And listen, we're going to post all of your socials, but you're at Rebecca Corry on Instagram. Stand Up for Pits. You can follow them on Instagram as well. Is there anything else that you want to put out? Are you working on anything right now? Are you doing any TV? I know that shit has been just in the can recently because of COVID, but any plans and TV shows or specials?
I'm always forever and will always be auditioning and I'm developing 2 projects right now. One is actually not in development. It is actually completed. I'm going to be taking it out to try to sell it in September or October. And I go into pre-production. I'm directing a feature-length documentary and I go into pre-production for that in October. And I'm doing Stand Up for Pits November 7th in Hollywood, and I'm doing Stand Up for Pits November 21st in Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's going to be heading into a really insane time, but excited about it. And obviously the day-to-day Stand Up for Pits stuff, it is, I don't ever stop. It is every single day, 365 days a year. And sometimes there's just not enough hours in a day to
Of course,
to do it all.
There's always another dog somewhere. And I know that we're going to post all of the information where people can get a hold of you if they want to donate. And maybe if they want to do something like that in their town, or how they can support their own Pitbull type community wherever they live. We'll put all that information up as well. Lastly.
Great. And I'll share all this too. Thanks so much, Deb.
Well, lastly, I have a couple of questions I want to ask. This is This is just I'm going to be asking everybody all these questions, just so you know, it's not just weird for you. But when was the last time you said "I love you"?
I think I just said it about 25 minutes ago to Sally.
I said it to Alfie this morning. Yeah. She was outside laying on her beanbag, looking up at the birds, and I kissed her face and said, "I love you." Yeah, it's perfect. They say that dogs know when you say what that means. I don't know if I know that, but I always say it in a very meaningful way. So I hope they
100%. Sally's eyes kind of half closed when I say it.
Oh, God, the joy.
I know.
Non-dog people are like,
I know. You know what? I'm going to film me saying it to her so you can see.
Yes, do. Okay, then the other question I have, as an animal lover, do you smell your dog's feet?
When I'm sound asleep and they step on my face, I do.
You don't, okay, then this is weird. I'm going to admit something. You don't ever go up to their little paws and stick your finger in like that and then go, or just straight up from the source, like just get right in there. Never? Okay.
I can't say I do because I'm a germaphobe.
Oh.
I'm a germaphobe. So I am seriously a germaphobe. So I'm that person that keeps their feet constantly clean and like I'm so grossed out.
God, this must have been hard for you with COVID. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I live in a city, so they walk around outside, the very last thing I'm going to do is put my face next to their paws.
Well, it's a thing and they smell great. So I'll just put it out there, maybe give it a try one day from like a slight distance. Sometimes it helps.
Maybe after a bath.
Yeah, but not right after, because then they just smell like the bath. You got to let that dog smell. I'm probably being reported now.
You're talking
not illegal.
About the Frito smell.
It's so good. Biscuits, as we would say as kids, me and my brother. It smells like biscuits.
Okay, I'll give it like a half hour after a bath.
Yeah, okay. And on that note, I should probably let you go. It got weird.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Right. But listen, we're gonna post all of your info and your dates for Stand Up for Pits, and I just can't wait till you're in town. I'm gonna work on that bus idea, okay?
I'm gonna hold you to it, Deb. I know you're a doer.
I'm gonna do it.
Let's make this dream a reality.
Yes. All right, Rebecca. Thank you. Love you.
Love you, Deb.
Bye.
Love you. Bye, Deb.
Bye. That was so wonderful. Oh my God, Rebecca Corry. But seriously, it's a thing. If you haven't sniffed your dog's feet, go ahead and give them a sniff. Blue boys always smell really good. So that's what I need to work on then. I've got to call my vehicle making friends and get a custom bus made for Rebecca's Stand Up for Pits Foundation tour so she can take her dogs with her, do some fundraising along the way. Okay. All right. I've got some people in mind, and don't be surprised if you see them here on the show. Thanks for listening to my podcast. I'm Deb. That's Blue. He's dead, but we still love him. And thanks to today's sponsor. All right, guys, check this out. This is probably not how it's supposed to be done, but it's my new sponsor, Early Bird. It's Austin-based hemp edible gummy company. And they say, take one per day. I took half. It was delicious. And the reason I did it is because I am not on antidepressants or anti-anxiety medication anymore. I'm being a big girl. I'm getting healthy and fit. And this is a really big step along the way with that for me. So I'm excited to check these out. You can too, earlybirdcbd.com. Thank you for listening. Like, rate, subscribe, share with your friends, and stay tuned for great new episodes every week right here from Hot Pie Media. This is the Deb O'Keefe Podcast. Love you. Thanks for listening. You can find more episodes and all of our other Hot Pie Media originals baked fresh daily at our home online at hotpiemedia.com, the Hot Pie Media YouTube channel, or wherever you listen to podcasts.